This is called a warp in the wall. By practice, trade, habit, and need, I make things out of clay. Sometimes clay takes me away, and this past May, it took me to Mexico to be on a work crew that built a kiln from the ground up. It was heavy lifting, taxing work in the hot sun for 14 days straight. We were grimy and gritty but strong, clay savages in the desert, learning and making and doing what we loved. I felt fit, empowered, able. Then near the end of the trip, I tripped and fell and broke my kneecap. But I didn't know that until after I hobbled home from Mexico on a driftwood cane that had washed up on the shore from the Pacific, making itself available to me. I had a need and the universe filled it. Some more about clay. Clay is from the earth and respects the laws of science, unlike our current administration. A clay type is referred to as a body. Examples of clay bodies range from low fire, red terracotta, to stoneware, to translucent, high fire porcelain. One thing that a clay body and a human body have in common is that they are touch sensitive and have a memory. For example, if I take a round, freshly formed pot and push, poke, move, bend, alter the wall, or any part of it really, and then try to push it back into place, the clay will remember that action. The warp in the wall will reveal itself when fired in a kiln. Clay has a memory and the human body does too. About a year ago, Christine Blasey Ford testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee about a traumatic experience she experienced at the hands of aggressive boys, where she thought she might die if their actions continued. I wish I could thank her for sharing her story through a scientific lens that helped me understand my own experience. Different circumstances, situation, and setting, but like her, once upon a time, at a rather young age, I was trapped, strangled, grabbed, and terrorized by two aggressive boys. During the month before the kiln build in Mexico, I was having traumatic flashbacks, visceral reactions to unpredictable triggers. My body was screaming for me to listen to its story. I thought back to Ford's testimony and her clear explanation of how memories get coded into the hippocampus and trauma-related experiences get locked inside. I began reading about how trauma reshapes both the body and the brain, and how the threat perception system of the brain gets changed, and current physical and emotional reactions can be dictated by the imprint of the past. In fact, until trauma is resolved, stress hormones are secreted by the body, and defensive movements and emotional responses keep getting replayed over and over. Past trauma can also mean not feeling fully present. Often the person may not be aware of the connection between their crazy feelings and reactions and the traumatic event being replayed. I wasn't aware of that connection between my crazy feelings and the event from so long ago that I had buried and was just beginning to excavate. I felt a warp in my walls, and I knew something unresolved was there, yet I could not access what had happened to me over 40 years ago. Tonight I won't share the details of what happened so long ago because that's not the part of the story that matters right now. But I will end it with the part that does. 2 days after I arrived home from Mexico, I woke and found that I could not walk. My left knee had blown up, and that, plus a gaping wound on my right shin, left me with no weight-bearing leg. Everyone had left for school or work, and after I eased myself out of bed, I could not stand. I feared infection. After calling and texting a handful of people and contacting no one, I called 911 on myself and felt absolutely absurd doing so. The paramedics arrived with me sitting on the floor at the foot of the stairs in my jammies. I had crab walked down the stairs on my arms and ass and sat there like a crumpled up, pathetic little pile, desperate and compromised. One friend got my texts and calls and arrived on the heels of the ambulance, and they kindly deposited her to the hospital of my choice and avoid a $700 or $800 ambulance fee. Note to self. At the emergency room, as I narrated the circumstances of my injury, I also had the forethought to report that I was also struggling with some PTSD-like symptoms, flashbacks, unpredictable panic attacks. But like the stick that the universe provided from the Pacific Ocean to help me hobble home, a friend who implicitly understood was there by my side. I cannot provide a clear narration of what happened in that room as I melted down and descended in what looked like madness. At one point, I recall opening my eyes and seeing 4 people. They are going to lock me up. And oh my God, my friend must think I'm insane. But she didn't. And this time, nobody locked me up or restrained me against my will. Instead, the room was washed in love and acceptance and generated by my friend, released me from fear. It felt like giving birth for the first time with someone. I didn't have to worry about what she thought or apologize for presenting like a deranged maniac. With her comforting presence and gentle reminders to just let it out, I eventually emerged from the episode. White coat slipped back out of the room, present day reality restored. My friend, still at my side, reminded me, it's okay, I'm okay, and that I wasn't alone. Thank you to my dear friend, Vonda Paul, for helping me. The work of my life.